This story begins on the September 3rd, 2012. The city of Bangkok, Thailand, moves in its usual rhythm, streets filled with vendors setting up for the morning and early commuters making their way to work. But this ordinary morning was about to be disrupted by an event that would send shockwaves across the nation and beyond. In the pre-dawn hours, silence was broken by the deep, throaty growl of a Ferrari 458 Spider, a car known for its speed, luxury and exclusivity. Behind the wheel sat Vorayuth Boss Yoovidhya, heir to the Red Bull fortune, a young man who knew only the world of privilege and power. Around 5 a.m., police officer Wichian Klanprasert was on routine patrol on his motorcycle. The streets were still dark and most of the city lay in a quiet slumber. Suddenly, a blur of headlights came speeding down Sukhumvit Road, at what experts later estimated to be around 170 kilometers per hour. That's almost 106 miles per hour. What happened next was as quick as it was horrifying. The Ferrari struck Officer Klanprasert with such force that his body was dragged over 200 meters, about 656 feet, before the car finally came to a stop. Witnesses reported hearing a sound like a crash, followed by the screeching of tires and silence. A silence that seemed almost eerie, given what had just taken place. Instead of stopping to help, Vorayuth drove his severely damaged Ferrari, its windshield smashed and hood stained with blood, back to his gated family compound, leaving Officer Klanprasert lifeless on the road. When police arrived at the scene, they found what can only be described as devastation. Pieces of the shattered motorcycle were scattered across the road, and Officer Klanprasert's body lay motionless, an emblem of duty met with tragedy. Meanwhile, police followed the trail of leaked brake fluid and found themselves at the gates of the Yoovidhya family mansion, home to one of Thailand's most affluent and influential families. Inside, officers discovered the Ferrari, damaged, stained, and eerily silent. Vorayuth himself was inside the house, reluctant to come forward initially, but eventually admitted he had been the driver. Despite this, the first twist in the case would appear almost immediately. The Yoovidhya family had deep roots not only in business, but in political and social circles. The questions started when police didn't arrest Vorayuth on the spot. Instead, he was taken in for questioning, and what could have been a straightforward arrest became a quagmire of delays and irregularities. Vorayuth claimed the officer had swerved in front of him, leaving no time to react. Blood tests were conducted, showing traces of alcohol and an illegal substance. But here's the twist. The explanation given was that Vorayuth had consumed the alcohol only after the accident, claiming it was done to calm his nerves. The police accepted this narrative, brushing aside the need for further scrutiny. Public suspicion grew as details emerged about how the case was handled. The investigation appeared to stall, giving the Yoovidhya family ample time to use their influence. A junior police officer initially tried to take the fall, saying he had been driving, but the truth couldn't be contained for long. The officer's statement was retracted after media pressure. With Vorayuth now officially facing charges for reckless driving, causing death, failing to help the victim and speeding, the next logical step was court appearances. Yet, each time a court date approached, a new reason for postponement emerged: sudden business trips, health issues, last-minute emergencies. While Thai authorities cited his absence due to pressing matters, international media snapped photos of Vorayuth enjoying luxury vacations, snowboarding in Japan, attending high-profile events in Europe, and dining in exclusive London restaurants. This wasn't a fugitive in hiding. It was a man living life as though nothing had happened. The public's patience wore thin. Social media erupted with hashtags calling for justice. People gathered in protests, holding signs with phrases like "Justice for Wichian" and "End the impunity." For many, this wasn't just about a single tragedy. It was about how deep money and power could infiltrate the justice system. Expert 1. This case became a symbol of what happens when power is left unchecked. It wasn't just about a wealthy individual evading justice, it was about a system that allowed it. The Thai legal system, already under scrutiny, faced its biggest challenge yet. Could it prove to its citizens and the world that justice could prevail, even when the defendant was one of the richest men in the country? Just when the case seemed poised for resolution, another shock came in 2020. Thai prosecutors announced that all charges against Vorayuth were being dropped, citing insufficient evidence and unexplained legal ambiguities. The outrage was immediate and intense. Expert 2. The announcement was almost unbelievable. For years, people had watched the delays, the excuses, and now suddenly there were no charges. The system was bending, but not in favor of justice. International news outlets picked up the story, turning it into a global scandal. Facing backlash, the Thai government promised to revisit the case, but by then, crucial charges had already expired. 4 years later, a new twist emerged. 8 officials, including high-ranking police and judicial figures, were charged with corruption related to the handling of Vorayuth's case. Allegations surfaced that evidence, including the speed of the Ferrari at the time of impact, had been altered to appear less incriminating. Expert 3. This was huge. For the first time, there was an acknowledgement that the case had been compromised from within. It wasn't just one man evading the law, it was an entire system being manipulated. Despite these new developments, Vorayuth Yoovidhya remains a fugitive, living beyond the reach of Thai and international authorities. Rumours suggest he moves between countries with no extradition treaties, taking refuge in anonymity while enjoying the privileges of immense wealth. The Red Bull empire continues to thrive, its association with extreme sports and energy defiance ironically mirrored in the case of its own heir. Yet, for the family of Officer Wichian Klanprasert, justice is still an unfulfilled promise. The year 2027 looms large. With the final charge set to expire, the world watches to see if justice will ever be served. Will the system prove capable of holding the powerful accountable, or will this case stand as a symbol of wealth's ability to buy freedom? This is more than just the story of a car crash and a powerful heir. It's a narrative about influence, corruption, and the lengths to which power will go to protect its own. As time ticks away, this story serves as a reminder. What do we do when the pursuit of justice is outweighed by the influence of wealth? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe that justice can be served, or is this case proof of the invincibility of the rich and powerful? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more stories that challenge the systems we live by.